You're on a mission to get your creative work out into the world. You're not a hack. You study your craft. You put in the hours. Getting up early, staying up late, finding time around all the other commitments in your life, doing everything you are supposed to do. And it still feels like you're never going to get that thing done. So you decide you have to push yourself even harder, thinking that will make your progress more certain. But once again, it doesn't work. And once you understand what's going on, you'll know why pushing harder will never unlock the certainty of finishing you crave. I'm Christine Karen, founder of Good Jelly. I work with people who care deeply about their creative work, and I help them make progress that's not just reliable, but inevitable. Many of my clients were experiencing the same thing when they started to work with me. They were working hard. They were showing up for critique groups and classes and conferences. They were making sacrifices. They were doing everything they were supposed to do, but they still weren't making the progress that they expected themselves to make and knew that they could make. And they weren't expecting themselves to magically get their creative project done in 30 days or be on the quick path to fame, awards, and accolades. What they expected was something fairly simple: reliable progress. But that wasn't happening. So they got up even earlier, stayed up even later, made tougher weekly plans, pushed themselves harder, took more classes, got into accountability groups. But once again, no matter how hard they pushed themselves, they still didn't get that measurable, reliable progress they expected. Why? Because they kept trying to make progress, or more accurately, force progress, for a version of their life that didn't exist. One artist who was recovering from a serious illness kept expecting himself to produce as he did when he was in full health. One author was pregnant, had a full-time job, had a toddler at home, and was in a great marriage that she wanted to keep great, but was expecting herself to produce as if her writing was her only life commitment. And then there was a musician who'd recently retired from touring and was working on her first novel, but was actually trying to force herself to produce at a speed and a level of excellence as she did with her music, even though she'd never written a book before. Were all these people delusional? No. They were trapped in the productivity paradigm's version of certainty, which you can have as long as you deny reality. That's why I call it fake certainty. It's not real. It says if you have health conditions, ignore them. That is what professionals do. If you have competing priorities, ignore them. That is what professionals do. If you are a beginner on a new creative path, too bad. Professionals deliver professional grade work all the time, no matter what. That may look good on paper. It may even work for a short time. But over time, over the long haul, it does not work because reality is real. And it's going to make itself known no matter how much the productivity paradigm denial is happening. And that is what was going on with my clients before they started working with me. They were doing all the right things according to the productivity paradigm's rule of ignoring reality. But that denial had short-circuited their ability to create real progress certainty, a real sense of, I can and will get this project done. So when reality showed up and asserted itself, as it always does, Productivity paradigm's one solution for them was self-blame. They started questioning things about themselves that were actually completely solid. Their commitment level, their level of effort, their skill and talent. That is like looking to the left when the problem is on your right. You can't make effective decisions for your creative work if you're fixated on the wrong data. That is what the productivity paradigm does to us. It acts as if reality is a non-relevant variable. That is where the delusion actually is. Not in my clients, not in you, in the old productivity paradigm. Because reality will continue to mess with your progress until you learn how to make progress in a way that works with reality instead of against it. And that's what all my clients do. But first, they have to see the problem. When you're trapped in the productivity paradigm, that can be hard to do. So we start everyone with a simple diagnostic that helps them see clearly by their own assessment where on the certainty spectrum they are. Once they can see that clearly, it makes it possible for them to reset their path toward measurable, reliable progress. If you want that same diagnostic, drop certainty below and I will DM it to you so you can see where you currently are on the certainty spectrum.